Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Sylvia and I make videos on planning with the occasional review. Planning has always been my way of working out problems and solving the day-to-day issues in my life. Join me as I experiment on how to best tackle projects, figure out how to stick with habit tracking, and celebrate the wins, both big and small. So grab a cup or a glass of whatevs and let's get on with the video. A new bullet journal. Sort of. Okay, so here's the thing. This is what I am going to be using for February of 2023. I am incorporating a bullet journal, a new one, sort of, and I'll get to that last. Let's start from the top and work our way down. So first of all, my last video, I talked about how a bullet journal is not something I can keep every single month of the year because some months are busier than others, and when my anxiety gets really intense, I usually just need a dated planner, and my go-to is usually the Hobonichi, and this year I have a Hobonichi Weeks Mega. So I really like having a dated planner for when my anxiety goes out of control. I got some comments in my last video mentioning that I was talking about the sticker situation and how I predated, and that was dumb for me because it was causing me to have this mental block that this is all the space that you get is just like one page as far as the dailies go, and I have to kind of trick my brain into not doing that. And some people were like, oh, you can just take them off. Or you can just put a sticker over that. Listen, people, if I could do that shit, I wouldn't have anxiety disorder and I wouldn't be who I am. So I always have to practice forgiveness with my anxiety disorder because people aren't going to get it. And I just let stuff like that go. It doesn't bother me because I'm just like, this video obviously wasn't for you. And sometimes I have to say that in a video. It's like, listen, if you don't have a lot of money and I'm buying a lot of shit, don't come on to the channel when I'm doing hauls and being like, you're spending too much money. It's like, obviously this video is not for you. It is what it is, and I just laugh it off because it's not that serious because I've been dealing with it my whole life. But anyway, if you're somebody who got it, I appreciate you and I understand your situation. So moving on, this is what I'm using in February. So I'm going to continue to use my gorgeous little cork cover by Documented Journey, and this is in a pocket size. I am using the Sarasa pens mostly because they're sitting on my shelf saying, hey, we're beautiful and you spent money on us. Do you want to use us? So I've been switching them out every single week, and right now I'm using this darker, that's a lie. It's probably more like a royal blue, and it's so beautiful. At the beginning of next week, I will switch it up again. On the inside of here, I have two notebooks. They are both by Moleskine. The first one just keeps a few notes on videos I want to do. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Like today, I just sat down, I'm making this video. It is what it is. The second little insert here, this is where I was keeping dailies. And because I was having a lot of busy days in January, I felt like this was all the bullet journaling I could stand. And this was the size that was right for me. I couldn't even begin to try to do an A5 size. That would be way too overwhelming for me. So I was using these stickers by Amazon. These are the stickers I was talking about where I predated the pages like an idiot instead of just doing them one day at a time. And I am kind of over this. I feel like I'm ready to move on to a bigger bullet journal. Most of the days for school anyway that are very busy, that, the holidays seem like there's just so many events, that has finally ended. And so I went ahead and I took out the pages that were left in here because they're perforated in the back. So they just kind of look like this. And I just stick them into my purse, or I put them next to my monitor. So anytime I need to take some notes that I want to fold up and take with me, I just use these instead of sticky notes. Really great for writing a grocery list or what have you. And then of course I have my Moleskine, and this is my weekly. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to continue using it. Right now I'm playing with the idea of just keeping lessons in here because that worked really well. But then I thought, no, I need to work on social media. So maybe this is where I will keep that. In the past, let me show you. I had my lessons, like what I wanted to learn, over on this side, and then what days I worked on and how much I worked on it. And then over here I had social media, so when I was posting or editing. Then you can see this week I really didn't do a lot of anything with social media. So I was like, do I really need a calendar for this or not? So this might be switching up a little bit, but I will continue to use it. And as we get closer, I'll probably officially know what I'm going to use this for. The second planner that I'm going to be using is my Everyday Carry. Again, this is a Hobonichi Weeks Mega. And so I have been using this very, simple. I did throw down some of these rub-on stickers that I mentioned just because there were days when I didn't plan and it made me feel better about having this empty white space. Because some of us do have that problem with, oh my gosh, there's white space, you got to fill it. And I didn't want to feel like I was like just writing stuff to write it. So the stickers really helped with that. Now this is the week we're on. We're currently on January the 28th. It's a Saturday. So there's a couple days left before the new week starts. And yes, there are still 2 days left in January, but I like to incorporate these 2 days into my planner because the first falls in this week, if that makes sense. People divide things up however they wish, and this is how I like to do it. So more on that when you see my bullet journal. And this has been working out fine, but again, I feel like I want to move into a bullet journal and I want to move this stuff into my bullet journal, which means I needed to change what I'm going to be doing in here, or else I'm just going to be writing stuff twice, you guys, and I don't really care to do that. So I decided that I really need to work on the health. So I decided to do a food journal in here. And so I made an appointment with my dietitian, which means that she really likes to see at least 3 to 4 days of what you've been eating. So you can sit down and have a session with her. So here it is. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I broke this into thirds. And then we have snacks here. And then the total for, the carbs for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. Over here, I have a notes section, and I didn't make a line so that I would have notes for each day because maybe I won't. So I left it open in case I just have more like notes for the entire week. But I do like the idea of writing down how I felt when I overate that day or I hit my goal. So we'll see how that goes. Very simple and easy peasy, and I get to carry this with me, and I feel like when I carry it, I have more success about using it. Which brings us to an A5 notebook, which sometimes I struggle carrying. Now, I don't like to carry an A5 in the summertime. I've mentioned that before because it's just a little bit too heavy. I like to scale down on what I'm carrying, including the purse size that I'm using, and a lot of times this is not going to fit in like one of those cross body type of bags. So you may recognize this bullet journal, and this is what I was talking about, how I'm starting a new bullet journal, sort of, because I used this in 2022 and I took the sticker off of here because it was going to drive me crazy. And I did contemplate on just right here adding in like a sticker that said end 2023, but I was like, no. So I peeled it off. I didn't do the best job because I just did this last night. And so I will probably have to go back over this and clean it up later or find a sticker to go over it. But you know me, if I put a sticker over this, it's going to drive me insane. I will know it's there. So I'm going to clean it up. I know I am. My word for 2022 was inspire. And so this is a bullet journal edition 2. So there were a lot of reasons why I wanted to try this out. First of all, the paper is wider than the original Leuchtturm notebooks. There were these really easy divisions, so you could divide the page in thirds, either horizontally or vertically, as well as in half because there's dots. And I did a whole video on this. Sorry, the lighting is pretty rough in here, but you can see the dots. So 3 means that it divides in thirds, 2 means in half, and they have them down here at the bottom. They also changed the page number from the corner to the center, and maybe that's because it works better that way, or if you do like a Dutch door, you don't lose your page number, which is kind of awesome. I'm not really sure why they did it. I'm sure people have talked about it since then. The other thing that you need to know about this book, when it comes to the things I didn't like, is the fact that there is such a huge amount of space around the actual grid. I don't really care for that, but again, it's so that they can divide things evenly. So they do give you this really cool guide here in the front, and it's this beautiful rose gold and gray. So it's stunning, really. And I mean, it's really cool, but I mean, there's just so much space around the edge. We'll see how I feel about that. But also, the pages are thicker. And that was something that I liked about it because I thought, okay, my stamps, like this stamp in particular, it is very wet and man, does it bleed through pretty much everything. So I stamped it back here and it worked out really great. Of course, some of the pens bled through here a little bit. The ghosting wasn't that serious. Let me pull it up so you can kind of see. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is great. I love that this paper is thicker. However, I just had like this mental thing about the paper. When I was turning the pages, it felt so weird and so different, and I just wasn't used to it. Also, the weight is different. It's heavier. And I didn't know how I felt about that either. These are simple little things that don't bother everyone. And sometimes it just takes me, you know, doing things 2 or 3 times to get used to it. There's 206 pages as opposed to 249 or what have you that's in the traditional Leuchtturm. And at first, I liked that. I liked that it was shorter because sometimes, you know, when you're a bullet journal or a planner addict, you tend to want to move into something else. You get bored. So there was less pages, which meant that I could move into something sooner. And I also disliked that because sometimes I like to stay in things longer. Honestly, it's going to depend on what time of year it is and my mood, to be perfectly honest. So this, if you don't remember, was supposed to be my commonplace notebook for 2022. And I had set it up in that way. And I was also going to keep my reading journal in here. And I just never opened it. That was really the big problem. It was, I'm not going to carry this around. It's not my everyday carry. It's not my main planner. And therefore, I didn't have a lot of motivation to open it. So therefore, it just kind of just sat there. And it was really sad. So the things in the beginning I didn't use. Jay's calling, which means he's on his way home. Sorry, Jay was calling. He's on his way home early. So that's great. I have nothing made for lunch. Anyway, we have the key here, which I don't always fill out because I already have my key down. Intentions page, which was new, and I didn't write anything there. Maybe I will this time around. And then we have the index on 4 pages, which is nice, but I don't really keep up with either. And I'm sorry if this is a little too bright because the sun keeps going in and out of the clouds, and so it's changing the lighting. I apologize. Let me turn this down a little bit. Maybe that's helpful. Anyway, so I just went ahead and decided to use what I have. I thought, oh, I want a new bullet journal, and there's something about taking off the plastic the first time you get that bullet journal and opening it and, you know, breaking in the pages. But I thought, no, Sylvia, this year we're going to use what we have. And I'd only actually used 30 pages of this. And there's just so much left to use. So I decided to take some washi tape and mark off those pages that I had already used and leave it at that. Now, you see that this says January 2023. I had fully intended on starting this in January of 2023, and I put this pretty vellum, and this was from Sterling Ink, right? And I was ready to go. And then I got the anxiety and I thought, no, I can't do this. I need to have a dated planner. I'm just too busy. I don't want to deal with this. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is a quick little trick that most people know about. And you just cut out a page in the back, just like a section, and then you place it over this and then you write February. And it's not that serious. And I don't have to pull this out and retape it. It's not that serious. This is me growing as a person, y'all, because you know that in the past, this would have drove me insane. Now, why can I put a piece of, you know, page here and write February and be okay with it, but I can't remove stickers? I couldn't say. This is, again, where I have to, like, forgive myself where some things work and some don't. I don't know. So here is the monthly, and I decided to go with a simple bullet journal style, but here's the thing. It could have been simpler. Yes, it could have. I forgot in setting this guy up, I have these under here. I just didn't want to forget mentioning them, which hopefully I will when I'm done. Anyway, I'm using these stamps. Now they've been mentioned. They're by Midori. You've seen them in the past. I love them. They make things look a little bit more uniformed without hardly any work. But I forgot that this notebook comes with stickers, you guys. I spaced it out and I went to the back to look at the, what is this called? Pen testing page. And I saw them and I was like, no. So you can go ahead and set up the monthly here. And of course it has the month sticker right there. And they're in rose gold and these are in gray and they're beautiful. Now, some people have complained that this is too light for them to see. They don't really like that it's not bold enough. And maybe that's true, but I haven't really given this a true go. So I went ahead and already wrote down in a section in here to not forget to use them if I decide to stay in this for March. But I'm going to try to remember to use them next time. So back to this. Here we are for February. I have the simple setup that you see in the bullet journal for my calendar. I have schedule here. I've already written some things in, and then I divided it in half because I thought, oh, I also miss having my favorites here. And this is usually where I put like what movies or TV shows we're watching at the time. I really enjoy seeing that. So I thought I would go ahead and keep track of that next to this. It's also a motivator for me to, use this and to check on it, because sometimes I just forget about this page and I don't look at it again. I do have this cute little stamp. It's a little panda, and I think I got this at Jet Pens. Just so adorable. These stickers are very simple and easy to put down. I like headers like that, and I got them from Hobby Lobby. Now this is the Tombow that I'm using, so it's in a 0 to 6, and again, once you look at it, maybe it looks like it's overwhelming and crazy. It's honestly just a Tombow. After I filled everything in, I just went across and added a little bit of color. I like to try to stick with one color so it's not that serious. This is a layout that I saw from, I think her name is Claudia. I'll flash her name on the screen because I'm terrible with names, but she's here on YouTube and she does a lot of minimalist bullet journal layouts, which I enjoy watching, and I thought this would be fun. So technically it's a weekly, and it's just like your weekly chart, but I decided to go ahead and put it all here with the monthly, because technically it has the entire month of February, and I really liked her design, so I'm going to be trying this out for February. She does have a note section over here, so if you fail at something or you succeed, it's really nice to have a note there to help you out so that you know why, because sometimes you have to sit down and think about it. And again, to make things look a little bit more uniformed, I have my Midori stamps stamped at the top here. On this page, it is a continuation of my monthly. So here I wanted to have my monthly task list, but instead of having it over here, I thought, let's try it here. I'm going to divide it into sections. So this is me trying out the fact that these pages can be divided into thirds with the little dots off to the side here. So I divided it into thirds, and then down the middle gives me 6 boxes. I have don't forget, and if I need more space, I can do that down here. I have my rolling weekly, and if I need more space, I can add another one down here. We have housework, so any cleaning that I need to work on, deep cleaning, I can put down here. And this is my shopping list. Now, I have a digital shopping list that works best for me. These are things that we get every time I go shopping, but if there's anything we're out of or something new or interesting we want to try out, that's what I put there. On the right side, I have my favorites. So I thought, man, I'm really not doing a good job of commending myself on all of my accomplishments, so I thought maybe I could write out all the books that I read for the month, anything else that I did for the month, what I learned, something like that, so that I can give myself some praise because I'm really bad at doing that. And at the end of the month, I'm like, what did I accomplish other than writing? Because everything kind of goes back to that. That's my most important task and challenge for each month, is how much writing I get done. Down here, you guys have seen this before. This is just my reading list. These are all of the books that I currently have, whether they are physical or audio books, books for the Kindle, and a couple of books that Jade's reading. So I'm trying to get through this list. I am no longer trying to read one book a week, but even though I'm not trying, since I did that challenge in 2022 and almost made it, I'm keeping up, which is fantastic. I've just learned to make it a habit, and I'm doing it, so that's really great, and I'm excited about that. I like keeping this on a post-it note because it's really easy for me to peel it off and put it on the next monthly, or if I wanted to put this and keep it on the weekly, I could certainly do that, and it's very simple, and I don't have to rewrite it. I also decided to do this because it's hiding another boo-boo that I made here. I am using this stamp here, also I believe by Midori. I think I got this from Tokyo Pen Shop, but Jet Pens sells them. I think Amazon as well. And so I stamped it here first, actually, and I didn't push in the center enough, and this happened, and I thought maybe I can line it up again, and I was like, no, it's going to be a mess. So I went ahead and stamped it here. It worked beautifully, and it didn't bleed through. which makes me very, very happy. Hardly any ghosting, so I'm loving this new paper. I don't know why, but the thicker paper is working for me this time around. I am less offended by the thicker paper, which means I am hopefully growing as a person, but not about removing stickers. So I went ahead and I stamped up here February because, you know, why not? It's pretty easy. It's a stamp. It doesn't take a lot of effort. And then I went ahead and colored this. You could color it a bunch of different colors, but again, I like to stick with just like one color because I'm not going to get it together to use or keep a bunch of Tombos with me at all times. Now we come to the weekly, and you've seen my weekly like this before. Usually I have it broken down into 2 sections. I decided to go with 3. So this is my schedule for the week. Now, why is this different from here? I think this is just my way of pre-planning things that I know are coming up. Whereas here I can get a little bit more detailed. I can put you know, due dates for writing and other things that I want to get done on specific days. So this just kind of works better and a little bit differently than the monthly. I have a section here that I titled Don't Forget. And so these are things like tasks that I want to be getting done each day. Over here, I just used the stars because I never do. And I thought maybe this could be for like lessons or other things, books that I am reading, so I can keep track of that. You all know that I try to do that in a reading journal, but again, since I wasn't using it every day and I wasn't opening it, I would forget to write in it, which is terrible. So I think I might have more success tracking my reading here. I did leave a space here, which I thought I could finally use on the daily here on this stamp. There are like the little clouds and stuff. So for the weather, I thought I might stamp here. I might not get that together. You could also put food. It just worked out because I was trying to make this kind of pretty. That's where the end of the grid is. So I made the line and I thought, well, maybe I'll erase this. And then I thought, maybe I can use it. So we'll see how that goes. Now, in the past, my bullet journals off to the right, I would keep this for all of the tasks that I wanted to get done for the week of February. And it was kind of a big blob and I didn't love that. So I'm trying to break it down into sections to make it a little bit easier. I even made a list here of some things that I could put on this page in case, you know, I got stuck and there was too much space. But I have my mill planning right here for the week, so I can kind of keep it out of this. I have lessons, so things that I need to research and look up. Here is for History Day. That's coming up for Jade, so these are some things she needs to do. She wanted to join the History Day club that they're trying to do to help kids have more time to work on History Day after school, but she's already a knowledgeable, so that's not going to work out. So that means I need to help her a little bit. Mostly this just means she needs to sit down, I need to sit with her, and she needs to do the work, and I just need to watch over her and make sure she does it. Even though she's a smart kid, we all sometimes need someone to just make sure we're doing what we need to do. So it's kind of writing a checklist here for what she needs to go through. And then I have 2 more blank spaces, and of course, here's some things that I can do there. I thought, oh, quotes should probably go on the daily instead of on the weekly. So this might be where my review goes at the end of the week. How did I do? What did I think? Do I want to change any of this up? Just so I can make some notes for that there. I thought about making a vocab list here that I could, you know, every time I hear a word, just write it here, and then when I have time, look it up, and I have a space for that in the bullet journal as well. So we'll see how that goes. Here is my spread for vocabulary. Now, I used to keep a spread in my other bullet journal and I really liked it. It's getting dark, so I'm turning up the light, sorry. But it was just a space where I could be creative without having to have another planner or another notebook to open, because sometimes I'm just not going to get that together. Now the stickers that I'm using again are from Amazon. We talked about these before, and on each sheet for the month they have a red sticker that just says February and what month of the year you're on. So I put that here because, you know, why not? Where else was I going to put it? And again, because this is the edition 2, I wanted to utilize those marks that break things down in thirds, so I thought I could fit a couple of words here, and here, because I like the idea of sections. And the last page that I went ahead and set up is January. So why January if I'm starting this in February? Well, I like the idea of starting a full week when the month starts. So I went ahead and incorporated January 30th and 31st since they fall in that first week with the first of the next month. Here as well, you have the 30th and 31st. So it made no sense since I would have to start filling out, you know, this page and this page on those days. And again, you don't have to, but it is who I am, and it would have bothered me. I decided to go ahead and put the dailies in here as well. And so I went ahead and predated both of these days to see if I could even fill up one page. And I thought, if it doesn't work out, then I'll go back to, breaking this down to, I don't know, a quarter of a page or whatever. If I only fill up half a page, then I'll stick down the next day and it's not that serious. So I thought I'd go ahead and try this out. Again, I went ahead and put January up here, which you don't have to do because it's on the sticker, but I wanted to remind myself that these 2 days are not in February. And since I didn't use a different color to show that, I thought I'd go ahead and stamp out the month. And then of course February will start over here. And that is my complete setup, you guys. I have not even gone into the collections. So the next time you see me, I might share a couple of those if I decide to do them. But for right now, I'm starting out with just this. It might seem a little bit more than minimalistic. I was trying to go for something that was a little bit more. I want to have these different places to put things. And I wanted to incorporate all of the things in one place instead of having 2 or 3 planners for that. Okay, so the video was like, yeah, you've talked enough, and it cut off. So what was I saying? I'm gonna wrap this up quickly now. I could certainly keep all of my, my food journal on the dailies since I am in an A5 and there's plenty of space now and I'm dating them as I see fit. But I don't want to do that because, again, I don't care about people's opinions on my health or my weight. And so therefore, I'm just not going to share them. And so I like having kind of a place that's separate for that I don't need to share. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. What are your thoughts? I know this seems like a lot to flip through. I'm certainly not going with the traditional Writer Carol. I mean, I have my monthly here and then my monthly here and then a full-on spread for the weekly, which Writer doesn't always do. I know he has incorporated some of those weeklies here and there in his book, as well as on his little app thing that I don't follow, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it. He doesn't have a vocabulary area, which would probably be considered, a collection, but I like having it in the week or the month that I'm using it, just so I can see those words for that time period. It is what it is. I don't know. Maybe these are too many pages to flip. Maybe it's not, but I have some time and I'm feeling more comfortable with using a bullet journal. So we'll see how it goes. And again, if it doesn't work out, I can always abandon one of these spreads or 2 and change it up for the next month. All right, so let me know down below, what are your thoughts? Have you gotten to a point in your life where if you've used 30 pages of a journal, you can come back to it and start like it's spanking new? Because that's new for me. I'm growing as a person, not with stickers, but this is certainly something in the past I couldn't do. So I'm working on it. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.